Boys, we're back with another scarce video. Haven't reacted to scarce in a little bit. YouTuber has nowhere left to run. EDP445, MrBeast, DrDisrespect, MamaMax, I don't know who that is, xQc, and Jake Paul.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I'm interested to hear about the news, so let's check it
Here.
out.
Now, our first story today comes from
so
DrDisrespect. So I'm sure you all know at this point that DrDisrespect was one of the top Twitch streamers a few years ago, and he was banned just randomly. And no one knows why he was banned. He didn't even know why he was banned for the longest time, and it was obviously a very big deal. It was actually the biggest news of 2020, but DrDisrespect ended up going to YouTube, and he's been streaming on YouTube for the time being. Well, just last night, Doc tweeted out his 2022 goals, and he says here that in his 2022 resolutions, he is hoping to be unbanned on Twitch and receive a massive payout. Now, what does he mean by massive payout? Well, for those of you who don't know, Doc has said before that he is going to sue Twitch. So he is looking to sue Twitch in 2022 and hopefully receive a massive payout because they banned him like this out of nowhere without telling people exactly why he was banned. And we've seen people sue Twitch before after they got banned, and they won. So Doc might very well win this lawsuit against Twitch and then get unbanned from the platform, and then Twitch will have to pay him a ton of money, which would be absolutely insane. And we'll definitely keep you guys updated on this lawsuit because it looks like Doc is going to try to make this happen in 2022. Now, our next story comes from the YouTuber MrBeast. So for those of you who don't know, MrBeast started up this big campaign called Team Seas with the YouTuber Mark Rober, where they were trying to clean up trash from the ocean, and every dollar you donate goes towards Team Seas so they can clean up more trash. And they're trying to get 30 million pounds of trash out of the ocean, which means they need to raise $30 million. Well, the fundraiser for Team Seas just ended yesterday, and it turns out that they were able to really raise the $30 million here. Now, what's interesting about this is only a few days ago, they were over $4 million short of their goal, but it looks like a billionaire stepped in and donated $4 million just before it was about to end. This guy's name is Austin Russell. He's obviously very rich. He has over $1.8 billion, and he was able to donate $4 million to this campaign in order to actually get it to the $30 million that MrBeast wanted. MrBeast tweeted this out last night. He says, "We did it. Austin Russell noticed that we came up a few million pounds short, so he got us to over 30 million. Shout out to the over 600,000 different people that donated to Team Seas and the creator community for being so awesome in supporting this." And you could tell MrBeast was just so happy last night. He tweeted out saying, "We literally raised enough money to remove 30 million pounds of trash from the ocean." That's freaking insane. Sorry for the caps, but it just hit me how crazy that number is, though. And our next story for today comes from the YouTuber EDP445. So last year, EDP was exposed for some very awful things, okay? He was caught in a sting operation where he thought that he was messaging a minor, and he was saying some very disgusting things,
I don't think we need to relive
this minor, and there was people that were
I don't think we need to relive it.
And when he was confronted about this in public, he essentially admitted to it, okay?
You know what's crazy? Both these motherfuckers are pedophiles, though.
So people were absolutely disgusted by EDP, and he ended up getting banned off of YouTube. He tried to go to Facebook. He was banned off of Facebook. He's been trying to do whatever he can to get back on the internet and to make money off of the internet. But at this point, it seems like EDP has just left the internet for good. But just a few days ago, the massive YouTuber SunnyV2, this guy's a YouTuber that's been blowing up lately. He makes incredible content. He recently posted a video.
I was about to say, he's at 800K.
Update on EDP. And in this video, he explained.
Yo, should we react to this video? Why did I not react to this video? Finally in prison. Clickbait of death?
That EDP's life right now is a living hell.
There's
he
no
shows
way
in this video that after EDP was exposed for messaging these minors, people on the internet have been hunting him down. They've been doing whatever they can to make sure he can no longer live his life. They are literally trying to get him fired from any job he gets now. He can no longer do anything without people getting involved because there are so many people on the internet that don't want to see him doing anything, and they think that he should be locked up. This has gotten so bad that after EDP was exposed,
I want to say that's fucked, but he did it to himself.
Last year, he had to move from Bakersfield, California to Henderson, Nevada. And after EDP got banned off of all these big platforms on the internet, he had to get a job somewhere else. So he got a job as a Lyft driver. And while he was driving for Lyft, someone who claims to be one of his passengers had taken a photo of him. And you can see he's even covering his face here. But people online found out that he was driving for Lyft and they got him fired. Then apparently EDP tried to get other jobs to make even a little bit of money. Like he tried delivering for Uber Eats and Grubhub, but people found out about that and he was apparently fired from that as as well. So wherever he's trying to go to work, he can no longer work there because people just keep finding out where he's going and they're getting him fired. They're telling people about what he did and they are firing him. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Now, the reason why it's been so easy for people to find EDP wherever he goes and they've been able to get him fired is because they know of his name. His name is Brian Moreland, and this whole situation has gotten so bad for him that actually a few months ago, he applied for a name change. So he's trying to get his name legally changed because of how much harassment he's dealing with from people that are upset with him for just doing anything in his life anymore because they think that he should be locked up. There's also been YouTubers trying to expose how much money he has left in his bank account, showing that he has very little money left and that he might have had to sell off his cars just to get a little bit of extra money to be able to stay somewhere to have food and shelter and be able to live his life. I mean, it's insane. EDP can't even stay at hotels anymore because people are finding out where he is at these hotels, and there's videos of YouTubers literally going to his hotel and telling the people who work at the hotel about EDP and exposing him to try to get him kicked out of the hotel. Now, the biggest update to this whole EDP situation that SunnyV2 exposed in his video is his former friend Felipe. His former friend Felipe has been making videos on EDP for the last few months now, and last month Felipe made a video where he claims that EDP is now in prison.
I was like, hello, and it said, this is the Henderson, Nevada detention center inmate for Brian Moreland. Would you like to receive the call? And I hung up, and then called again, and the same thing happened. Would you like to receive a call? So I said yes because I was like, I was just curious to see, holy shit, he got arrested. I was like, man, what do you do? What's going on? So I said yes, waited for a few seconds, and then looked at my phone and it hung up. So I don't know if it was him, just got the call, went through, and he just hung up. No idea. But as you can see from my call logs, I got 4 no caller ID numbers, So that's that. I mean, that's the latest EDP update I have. I haven't talked to the guy since April, since all this stuff went down.
So as of right now, this is really not confirmed, and we don't know if he's in prison. There actually isn't any serious proof on this. Just one of his former friends that claims that this is what happened. But this is by far the most insane thing I've ever seen when it comes to YouTubers getting in drama or getting in controversy. I mean, I have never seen people go so far to mess with someone's life. This guy's life is a living hell right now. He literally can't live his life at all. People are saying his life is worse than prison because no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, even if he covers his face, people are still finding him and they're still getting him fired, making sure he cannot make any money, he can't do anything, and he's literally living in hotels in the middle of the desert trying to just make a couple dollars to stay afloat. Now, the next story that we have for you guys comes from the YouTuber MamaMax. Now, we talked about this story in our last video. MamaMax is a very well-known YouTuber, and he makes videos covering real serious situations when it comes to predators, okay? And he'll expose these predators in his videos, but it seems like YouTube has taken down one of his recent videos, and he was very upset about this, okay? And he actually called out YouTube. He made a whole video on this, and he started a hashtag pick a side YouTube, where he was calling out YouTube. He was calling for YouTubers to help him with this whole situation, and this started a huge movement against YouTube where people were very upset with YouTube for doing this, but there was very mixed responses to how MamaMax went about this. I mean, many YouTubers were saying that MamaMax took this way too far and that his whole hashtag doesn't even make any sense, and it's going to turn a lot of people off to it because they don't even know what it means. But regardless of the backlash on how Max went about doing this whole hashtag and this movement, YouTube has responded, and it looks like Max and the whole pick a side movement was successful, and YouTube is now officially getting involved. Max posted this. He says, I had a phone call with YouTube yesterday. We had an unexpectedly successful conversation about pushing the future of the platform in the right direction. I will be meeting up with a representative in person soon to discuss details and will not stop hounding them until great changes have been made to benefit us creators. I want to extend my sincerest gratitude to all of you for spreading the word, both positive and negative. And I want to apologize to all the creators that I dragged into this, except Shane, fuck him, as well as take the time to gush about all of my colleagues who accepted the invitation to appear in my video. You're all the most amazing and beautiful friends a man could ever ask for. I thank you so much for everything. Looks like YouTube takes our side, and I can't wait to see what 2022 brings us. I'm gonna get off Twitter now and go back to my hole to make regular content. I wish you all the best, and please stay safe out there. So it seems like this whole movement actually succeeded, which we rarely ever see with these big stories when it comes to YouTube messing up. I can't believe that YouTube is actually directly getting involved with this, but there are still a lot of people who have their doubts. They think that YouTube is not going to go through with what they promised, and that YouTube usually says they're going to do something, but they end up not doing it. So people are just waiting around now, seeing if YouTube is really going to implement changes, and they are going to actually change the platform for the better. And the next story for today comes from Gordon Ramsay. So I'm sure we all know who Gordon Ramsay is. He's the most famous chef in the world. And tonight he actually premiered his new show called Next Level Chef. Now during the show, Gordon was talking to one of the contestants and she reveals that she is a Twitch streamer. She's a cooking streamer on Twitch. And Gordon responds by saying that he has no idea what Twitch even is. Just watch this.
What do you do for a living?
I stream on Twitch, my cooking chef.
What the is Twitch?
So this clip has been blowing up tonight, and what's so funny about this is that if you do watch any of the big Twitch streamers, you know that most of them actually watch and react to a lot of Gordon Ramsay's shows. I mean, Gordon Ramsay has some of the most popular shows that streamers react to on Twitch. So a lot of streamers actually watch his shows, and when he said this, it was just a huge deal on Twitch. Everyone was talking about this, and one person tweeted this. He says, Gordon Ramsay not knowing what Twitch is when almost every streamer watching him on there is funny. Well, Gordon Ramsay himself responded to this tweet, and he says, hey, Twitch, can I get a lesson on what you are? So Gordon wants to know what Twitch even is, and actually you had a lot of streamers responding to him, joking about this and telling him what Twitch really is, and actually explaining to him what the platform is made for. xQc responded to Gordon saying, I'll give you a free rundown, call me on my cell, America's Next Master Streamer? Gordon then responded to xQc saying, you mean Next Level Streamer, and that has to do with his new show called Next Level Chef. So obviously Gordon is curious about Twitch, and that has to do with his new show.
What? Pause, champ. He says. Pause, champ. You mean Next Level Streamer?
Called Next Level Chef. So obviously Gordon is curious about Twitch, and maybe in the future we will see a Gordon Ramsay Twitch stream. I mean, that would be absolutely huge considering how popular he is on Twitch right now. And the next story for today's video comes from the YouTuber Jake Paul. So I'm sure we all know that Jake Paul recently fought Tyron Woodley, and he ended up winning. He knocked him out. This is a huge fight, and we covered that in one of our recent videos. Now, for those of you who don't know, over the past year, Jake Paul has had a lot of beef with the UFC president, Dana White. These two have been beefing and calling each other out over the past year, and Jake Paul has constantly been criticizing Dana White's treatment of UFC fighters. Well, because Jake Paul is getting so much recognition right now from fighting UFC fighters in the boxing ring, he is using his massive voice to call out the UFC and call out Dana White for their treatment of fighters. And he tweeted this out last night, and this completely blew up. He says, Happy New Year, Dana White. Here is a real challenge for you. I will immediately retire from boxing and fight Jorge Masvidal in the UFC if you agree to this. And Jake gives Dana a list of demands here on what he needs to do to get Jake Paul to fight in the UFC. His first demand is for Dana White to increase the minimum fighter pay in UFC per fight to $50,000, and it's currently $12,000. Jake's second demand is to guarantee UFC fighters 50% of the UFC annual revenue, which was $1 billion in 2021. And his final demand to Dana is to provide long-term health care to all of the fighters in the UFC. He then goes on to mention that Dana previously said that brain damage is part of the gig. And he says, imagine if the NFL said that. There are so many former UFC fighters who have publicly said that they are suffering from brain damage. Jake then gives Dana White an ultimatum. He says, you have 5 days to accept this and implement the above by March 31st of 2022. Once implemented, I will immediately retire from boxing, enter USADA, and agree to a one-fight deal with the UFC to fight Jorge Masvidal. To all of the UFC fighters, time to take a stand and create value for yourselves and your peers. You deserve higher pay, you deserve long-term health care, and above all, you deserve freedom. Support each other. I am not your enemy. I am your advocate who selfishly wants to KO a few of you to make some big bank. So it looks like Jake is now using his huge voice in fighting to actually try to implement changes into the UFC. Obviously, this is a big deal. This tweet completely blew up, and you have so many people talking about this, but there was very mixed responses to this tweet because while people are saying that what he's doing might be good and it might actually help these fighters, especially because a lot of these fighters are literally getting beat up for a paycheck, and the UFC still doesn't have health care for them, which is pretty insane. Still, people are saying saying that Jake Paul is doing this as a publicity stunt. He's doing this to get more recognition for himself, and that he doesn't actually care about the UFC fighters. And this list of demands from Jake was so big that Dana White almost immediately responded to Jake here. He tweeted out saying, "Jake Paul, you never responded to the challenge." And he posted this Twitter video in response to Jake. Just watch this.
"Jake, you never responded to the challenge. I believe that you're a cheater. And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid." And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the warlock nose and the big warlock wart on his face, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me. And let's just say this, he no longer works for me, and I think he's a scumbag. But if you two think that you can do it better than we do, we're doing this whole thing wrong, you could treat the fighters better than we do, knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Go get the Warlock on it. The Warlock can get it started for you. What you and the Warlock should be focused on is your business. You're tanking. You can't sell pay-per-views. You're calling out Jorge Masvidal because he's a pay-per-view superstar. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson. These are all superstars. You're not. You can't sell pay-per-views. So you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm ready to roll, buddy.
Wow, Dana White's response already has over 2 million views on Twitter in less than a day. I mean, this is actually going like mainstream. I can't believe how many people are talking about this right now. But what Dana said about Jake Paul's pay-per-view numbers might be true. I mean, it looks like Jake Paul's pay-per-view numbers were pretty abysmal during the last fight that he had. Now, this could be inaccurate because these were just the cable numbers, but still, it looks like this fight did a lot worse than his last fight with Tyron Woodley. But the big thing that Dana White calls out in this video is that he says that Jake Paul could potentially be cheating during his fights, and he even challenges him to get a drug test. Well, just this morning, Jake Paul changed his bio on Twitter saying, "I'm waiting for my USADA drug test. I'm ready, Dana. DM for address." So at this point, it looks like Jake Paul is pushing back against these allegations, and he's saying here that he can take a drug test and you will not find anything wrong with him. He claims that he has not cheated during any of his fights. Now, the next story for today's video also has to do with YouTubers and boxing. This comes from Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul. So I'm sure you all know that last year, Logan Paul fought the boxing champion, Floyd Mayweather, but the fight apparently garnered a ton of money, okay? This was by far the biggest and most profitable fight that we've seen with a YouTuber, and it looked like it made tens of millions of dollars. Well, Logan Paul hasn't seen any of that. It seems like Floyd Mayweather has decided to never pay Logan Paul for this fight. So he just never paid Logan. And Floyd is now going around flaunting just how much money this fight made. He says here that he earned so much money from the Logan Paul fight that he could buy Jeff Bezos' jet. I mean, he made a ton of money. And Logan Paul responded to this saying, "Yeah, because the dirty little rat hasn't paid me yet. It's been 6 months. But no worries, Floyd Mayweather. KSI and I are going to make back the money you stole from me and more on January 4th. Now, what Logan Paul is talking about here is that on January 4th, we are going to get an announcement from Logan and KSI. And this could potentially mean that they're going to have their third fight.
Wait,
that's right. We could see a trilogy to
KSI
Logan Paul versus KSI in the boxing ring. Now, our final story for today comes from the Roblox YouTuber known as My Username's This. Now, this guy is a huge YouTuber with over 1.5 million subscribers, and recently he has been called out for not paying his editors. So what happened here is back in 2020, My Username's This posted a music video called Better Together. Okay, this is a Roblox music video, and it went viral. It made over 11 million views. It's one of his most viewed videos on his channel, but this YouTuber didn't actually make this video. He had other people involved who worked on the editing and the voiceover and the music and everything like that to make this music video. So he was just the person who uploaded it, okay?
Wow.
Well, the editor of this video is now saying here that My Username's This never paid him for this video. Now, this animator's name is Java. He tweeted out saying, "Hey, My Username's This. Any updates on when you're gonna pay me for animating and making your third most viewed video?" And he shows screenshots here of of Discord conversations that he had with My Username's This. And this first screenshot shows that he was talking about how much money he makes off every video, and Java responded saying, "Oh wow, can I have some of the money?" And he lists off every single person that worked on this music video, and he says that they should all get a percentage of how much money this video made. And it looked like My Username's This agreed to this. I mean, it sounds like he said he could do the split here, but over a year went by and Java did not get paid his percentage that he was asking for. And a few days ago, Java decided to confront My Username's This about the ad revenue he was supposed to get from the video, and he says that he did not agree to it. So this is why people are so outraged at this Roblox YouTuber, because they're saying that these guys literally made one of his most viewed videos on his channel, and he hasn't paid them a percentage that it sounded like they were going to get. Now, My Username's This is pushing back against this. He responded Java saying, "Next time, don't offer someone to work for free and expect payment." So he's saying here that Java originally said that he doesn't need to get paid, and that should just completely exonerate him of having to pay him now. But both fans and YouTubers are not having this. They're saying here that he needs to pay him and that it's messed up that he did not actually pay this guy. Even one of the largest Roblox YouTubers on the whole platform, Flamingo, responded to Java saying, "If he doesn't pay you, then I will." And actually, Flamingo literally paid this guy thousands of dollars before My Username's This paid him, which is insane. So after My Username's This was getting all this backlash over the situation, he finally was able to pay Java for his work on his video, and it looked like the situation was resolved. But now other people that he worked with in the past are coming out and they're saying here that he never paid them as well. So there's even more accusations of mistreating commissioners and people who he worked with, and now it looks like he's been partially compensating these people as well. And that's it for our video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up. And I'll see you later.
Crazy. Well, let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know if you guys liked this video, this kind of video. I'll react to more of Scarce's videos. I figured it'd just be cool just to react to and get some news of recent shit that's been going on, because a lot of that I haven't really heard about, and a lot of stuff it's just like, you know, good to I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, man. Appreciate you, boys. Probably subscribe to you.